Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle Arookaloop, both 1 and 2, by CZT Barbara Duel Johnson. It's a neat one, and it's kind of a tangulation on the concept of a ruckus, which is a Zentangle original tangle. And if you've not done it, if you click on my picture or my name below the video, it'll take you to the channel homepage, and you could search for it. And it's a ruckus is spelled A-R-U-K-U-S. I believe that's how they spell it. It's a neat tangle. And then this also reminds me of another one. It has a similar look, we'll say. It's definitely not the same, but similar look. And I have to look up that. I think it seemed like it was called Loop, but it was, yeah, I like doing this one. This is neat. Okay, so it starts off with 4 C-shaped curve lines kind of going into the center of wherever you want this. And I have to tell myself, go slow. That made everything much easier. So like that. So kind of like a square with all of the sides pointing in. And this is the part that you know what? I don't think I put a note. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. As long as you don't have edges, don't take this next step all the way to the edge. So we're going to do some loops. You could think of it as a tethered orb, kind of a flux shape, but more of the straight flux shape like that. But leave yourself some room, because we're going to go outside of that. Well, you know what? I could have done opposites, because this one, it doesn't work for me to do it sideways, but up and down I can do. All right. So there we go. So next, we're going to aura the sides. And this is how a ruckus works. And I have to go back and look and see, okay, how do we start the two, I forget how the 2 shapes are, but we're going to alternate auraing between these curve lines and the loops. So we'll start with the curve lines, or the square. Like, they're all curve lines, Heather. And this is the part that it's like, I have to tell myself to go slow, so that way I can have my, pen line right up on there and kind of merge into the next one like that. Ooh, I like it. Then, so once you go all the way around, then we're going to aura the loop. So starting from here, and then we'll do each one, and then flip back and forth. Now on a ruckus, that one you just kind of go until you don't want to go anymore. This one now, Barb has us kind of do, let's see, this one and maybe one more, but of course it's Zentangle. You can go as many rounds as you want. Like that. That looks neat, right? And then, so since we're done with that, then we're going to do, I'm just going to call it the box. And it has a really neat stepped shape. And I don't know, well, see, now I don't know if it is Art Deco or not. It makes me think of that. I have to do some reading on it. Not being an art person, I'm learning all of these things. And if you ever get stuck, here's what you do. It's like, okay, which was last? What's showing, you know, what's, yeah, which is last? So like here, it's like, okay, yep, this curve line was last, not that one. So that means, and I got them all, or I count the spaces. So if you get distracted, that's one way to go back and figure out where you were. Okay, and we'll do one more around the loop. All right. This was just making me think of another tangulation on a ruckus, and I'm going to have to dig that one up. And there we go. Yeah, and that's it. So it's just neat. Then, it's play, have fun. One thing, well, and actually I like, Barb did this in her version, and yeah, and I really like it. So we'll just finish it off that way. And, this is where you can play, shade, do, whatever you want to play with it. So I'm aura-ing the center and filling them in. Although hindsight, like, okay, next time I do this, you could do something like this where, you do that, but then where you just kind of, fill in the one side so it gives it that interesting depth. All right. And I don't know if depth is the right word, honestly. It just, it makes it look like it's like a, well, it gives it dimension. I mean, because filling it in, that could give it depth too, but it's not, doesn't make it as 3D as doing the other way. All right, because that would look really neat. And then aura-ing the center and doing, the same thing. So if you did that, on all sides like that. All right. Yeah. Oh, it just looks neat. All right, then here's what I'm going to do for shading. Now you could you could pick which way you wanted to go, because you could think of, gosh, could do it on both sides. I'm going to just do it on the loop part. So right here, because you could take it either way, that, of who's tucked into who. They're kind of both tucked into each other. It's like a braid sort of. Whoops, didn't want to put it there. So I'm just going to choose to put that right here. I've done this similarly before, where I kind of have it coming, both angles. So it's just kind of darker where they mesh together, but the gradient is, coming out both sides. But we'll see. Sometimes it's just nice to start one place, see how you like it, and then decide if you want to do something else. And I wonder if I put some at the top, and then that would make the sides kind of shinier. Think about that for a second. Let's have this. I'm just gonna do it just a little bit. Yes. It just looked weird. The way it was in my mind. Yeah, so there we kind of have shine on both sides. That's what's nice about using what's left on the tortillon as well. Yeah, and then if I leave those open, then it's just kind of neat. Like I said, you could do it. I could have done it the other way, where I just did this on these sections and left it, or I could do both. It's up to you. Really neat. And you know what? If you made these wide enough, or if you're working, larger, you could put graphite, on this edge and on this edge, so that, what? Let me just put it on this edge, so it looks like it's standing out, because then it could look more like steps. Excuse me. Ooh, yeah, like that. Interesting. Lots of playing fun here to do. All right, and as I mentioned, I said Arookaloop 1 and 2. Really, this one is just Arookaloop. But one thing that Barb included was thinking about this as a fragment. And I'm just deciding, do I want to make that in pencil or do I want to do it in pen? No, I think I'll do it in pen. Okay. So like a triangle fragment. And so let's just put a nice triangle. So this would be if you're doing, well, if you're doing on purpose fragments in reticula and you have a triangle shaped reticula, which reticula is just grid. So if it's a triangle grid, you could do this in there and that would be neat. Or, you know, if you're just doing regular tangling and you have a triangular-ish area, you could do this way. Now, you would think, oh, do I put a triangle in there? Nope. She puts an orb in the center. And then, now this one, it is a little bit different because this one, she takes and does that, the teardrop shape, flux shape, all the way to the edge, where on Arookaloop, we'll call this 1, she doesn't. You need to make sure that you have space going out. But that's what this one is different. And it's kind of nice because then, you know, you're for sure filling whatever space it is that you need to fill. All right, then from here, it's, you know, same idea. We're going to aura the circle. And then when we aura these loops, we're going to aura the side, but stop when you come to that line. And then we'll, you know, do this 3 times as well. So then back to the orb. This one really gives a kind of a propeller look to it. Okay, did those. This one was a little bit wider than the other. Good thing it doesn't matter. That's what I tell myself all the time. It's all good. It doesn't matter. Just keep going. Like that. And one thing, let's see, because as I mentioned, you know, we can play with this however we wish. And this one, I decided to end it instead of on the aura of the loop, but to just add another aura-ing of the orb, because I just felt like I wanted to end it that way. Like that. And, you know, and because this is contained in a grid, I decided, and I do like the look of it, so I'm going to duplicate it here with fine, very light lines aura-ing the side. Like that. Oops. Easier to aura the bigger edge. Well, it's the only way to do it, because otherwise you'd be aura-ing this loop and then that, or this part, and I didn't want that. I want to have the straighten out that this part continued, not the curve, because then I would because you could, I mean, continue all the way, right, and fill the whole thing up if you wanted to, but I thought that gave it a lot more interesting depth. And let's see, yeah, this one too is calling for, I'm not going to fill in, I'm not going to aura the center, we're just going to fill it in. And let's see. Well, now, okay, I'm going to do this, and it's just going to look like exclamation marks all the way around. Oh, but you know what? I think I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave it open and maybe thicken the one side. Like that. Yes. Ever so carefully. Ever so carefully as my pen goes. It doesn't. It looks good. All right. And then, let's see. No, I think I'm going to do the same, similar kind of shading. Yeah. Well, we'll start that way anyway. And I'm also thinking on the outsides. I'm not bringing this one up as high as I did the others. This one, I think I brought it up too high, and then that's where my brain was like, yeah, I don't like that so much. What can we do to fix it? Oh, putting, the graphite up in the center. That seemed to help, and it did. Ooh, I like it. Each one I've crept up a little bit higher. And then, just to emphasize that this is the background, let's, oh, okay, since I'm doing the one side because that's what I like to try to do every time, putting the tip of the pencil or just the Tortillion on the place where I want it darkest. Yeah, let's do both sides. I did that once. I don't remember what the tangle was, and I just did one side, and it gave it some interesting motion. And that's another good reason. Just, if you're thinking of something and you're not sure, just, try one side at a time and see what happens. That looks really neat if I do say so myself. Yeah. I am feeling like it needs something on around that center, but because it's so small, I don't want to have the graphite remorse. Although, thinking. Well, as I'm thinking, let's put some graphite here on either side of that. Okay. If you are enjoying this, and I hope you are, please click on the like button. And if you liked it enough to see more, I don't know if that helped or not, please click to subscribe to the channel. As I'm messing with this, in the description section, I already mentioned links to the step outs, as well as, I can't tell, it's like which, here's bottom. As well as ways to connect with me if you wish. You will find below those links to the step outs my link tree, and there it has everything, all my social media, Facebook page, our Tangle Addicts Facebook community group link. And if you do happen to click on that, just know that the questions that are there have to be answered in order to gain entry. And if you are interested in tangling online with me and the rest of the Tangle Addicts family, because that's what we are, it's what we've become, we do that every Thursday, and it's free, from 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern time. And you'll see on the link tree where I have places that I post the classes, so you can follow me those places. I also do classes that have a fee on Tuesday. And there is one free one on Tuesday. It's called Tough Tangle Tuesday, and it's the generally, golly, the third Tuesday of the month. And But yeah, the other ones, are more project based or, more in depth and things, and they have a fee. But come join us for free if you've never joined before, and see if you like it enough to, to play more. All right, so that's a neat tangle. I like it. Thanks, Barb, for sending it. And I think I gave all the information I could ever think of. Just kidding. At least enough for now. Everything is on the link tree or in my social media. And if you have questions, let me know. Feel free to put them in the comments. I do try. I know I'm behind at the moment, but I do try to answer the comments. So, all right. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.